Good morning everyone. This is Rajesh from Department of Information and Technology. Today I am going to talk about configure a network operating system. Network operating system enables devices hardware to function and provides an interface for users to interact. In the CCNA course of study, students learn to configure both devices that connect to the network, that is end devices such as PCs, and devices that connect network together with intermediate devices like routers and switches. Routers and switches are nothing but devices that is connect with the LAN cables from one building to another or within the building. The Cisco Internet Networking Operating System, that is IOS, is a generic term for the collection of network operating system used by Cisco networking devices. The Cisco IOS is used for most Cisco devices regardless of the type or size. Operating systems. All end devices and network devices require an operating system. As shown in the figure, the operating system consists of hardware in the center, an X kernel and the shell. The kernel is the heart of the OS that connects between the shell and the hardware. The user interface accesses all these three for graphical user interface with the help of the OS. The portion of the OS that interacts directly with the computer hardware is known as the kernel. The portion that interfaces with the application and the user is known as the shell. The user can interact with the shell using command line interface, that is CLI, or GUI, that is graphical user interface. The definitions of shell, kernel, and hardware are as follows. Shell, the user interface that allows user to request specific tasks from the computer. These requests can be made either through CLI or GUI interfaces. In Linux operating system, shell command can be easily given to the program through terminal board. So here we can command or even control the upload and download speeds, what are the packets that are getting inside the system or the OS. Kernel. Kernel communicates between the hardware and the software computer and manages how hardware resources are used to meet software requirements. The kernel gets the help from the drivers, softwares which are installed in the OS. Hardware is nothing but physical form of the devices. When using CLI as shown in the figure, Windows in figure. So here we are looking at the directory of C:, it consists of different directories and junctions, files and folders. There are 6 files and total bytes are shown, and there are 10 directories. So this is a CLI process. The user interacts directly with the system in a text-based environment by entering commands on the keyboard at a command prompt. Command prompt is nothing but terminal in Linux and CMD in Windows. The system executes the command, often providing textual output. The CLI requires very little overhead to operate. However, it does require that the user have knowledge of the underlying structure that controls the system. The GUI interface uses Linux, Windows, OS X, Apple iOS, or Android allows the user to interact with the system using an environment of graphical icons, menus, and windows. The window GUI example is the figure is more user-friendly and requires less knowledge of the underlying command structure that controls the system for this reason. So the Putty icon on the desktop connects between remote area locations, etc. So this is how graphical display of Windows is given. The overall desktop of the screen is shown, and it has recycle bin and putty icon in it. However, GUI may not always be able to provide all features available at the CLI. GUI can also fail, crash, simply not operate as specified. For these reasons, network devices are typically accessed through CLI. The CLI is less resource intensive and very stable when compared to GUI. Purpose of OS. Network operating systems are similar to PC operating systems. Through a GUI, a PC operating system enables a user to use a mouse to make selection and run programs, enter text and text-based commands, view output on a monitor. CLI-based network operating systems like Cisco IOS on a switch or use keyboard to run CLI-based network programs. Use keyboard to enter text and text-based commands, view output on the monitor. Cisco IOS access. This topic investigates the method of accessing the CLI environment of the Cisco IOS. Next one, access methods. The Cisco IOS switch can be implemented with no configuration and still switch data between connected devices. By connecting two PCs to a switch, those PCs will be instantly have connecting with one another. There are several ways to access CLI environment and configure the devices. The most common methods are console method, the physical management port that provides outbound of access to Cisco devices. Secure shell, that is SSH, is a method for remotely establishing a secure CLI connection through a virtual interface over a network. Unlike a console connection, SSH connection requires active networking services on the device, including an active interface configured with an address. SSH is the recommended method for remote management because it provides a secure connection. It also provides encrypted password authentication and transport of the session data. So these kind of encryption password are now outdated because it can be easily hacked by copying paste the encrypted 16-digit key into a dark web, and we can easily retrieve the password nowadays. So it is better to update the firewall from hardware to software mode. So these are the main elements which is outdated, and the recent trends you only use software firewalls. Okay, next one, telnet. Telnet is an insecure method of remotely establishing a CLI session through a virtual interface over a network. Unlike SSH, telnet does not provide a securely encrypted process. So telnet is nothing but connection between the client and server. So it is widely used in Unix operating system and Linux operating system. Thank you.